Welcome to Leadership Speaks, an advanced Toastmaster club for leadership development. We are one of the top 5 clubs globally. I am John Ojefo, your Sergeant at Arms for this meeting. At Leadership Speaks, we provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Leadership Speaks is the premier club for experienced Toastmasters to become better self-directed leaders. We are an advanced club focused primarily on leadership development in everything we do. Our timer has a virtual hand raised, so we can all immediately see who is keeping the time. Now it's my pleasure to introduce our TMOD, Toastmaster Jyothi Thomas, who will lead our meeting today. Toastmaster Jyothi is a member of 2 clubs, Leadership Speaks and Chennai Wordsmith. In 4 years, she has completed 11 parts in the Toastmaster Pathways learning experience and has served various roles at the club level multiple times. Professionally, Toastmaster Jyothi is a gentle therapist and LLP practitioner. She's an enthusiastic learner with over 35 years of diverse work experience and a strong growth mindset. Please help me welcome our esteemed TMOD, Jyothi Thomas.
Thank you very much. Can I have the Zoom master kindly? Okay, thank you. Can we have everybody mute the audio, please? Thank you. It's a delight, Sergeant at Arms Toastmaster John, a person who truly lives and displays growth mindset, a self-directed leader indeed. Today is a special day as we talk about growth mindset for leaders. How many of us here believe in it? Is it just the word? We always say, spirit of the law, word of the law. It's interesting. Though research says a lot of things, today let's dwell into the concept very clearly of what did Carol Dweck say in her book. We talk about fixed mindset, growth mindset. We were not getting into the research, but this particular day evolved because we are part of Leadership Speak. We didn't look at any research. We decided as self-directed leaders, what is our path? Are we going to be looking at research, or are we going to take the path that's going to lead the organization way up there? I was dwelling when I discussed about this particular topic. What is growth mindset? Does growth mindset mean being proactive, being right there? As a leader, do we have to be shaken up, woken up? We have to be right there. Proactive engagement. Leadership is all about dealing with challenges, opportunities. Leaders inspire their team. Leaders are fearless. Growth mindset is when a leader looks at another person and says, fix your crown, and another leader says, I'll fix your crown. It's not just the queens like we spoke about during our Women's Day celebration. Leader, no matter what gender, is a leader. It's very important for us to remember growth mindset is not just reading. It's active practice, understanding feedback, living, making it personal, bringing it into your professional lifestyle, and making sure the organization is much about a person. Let's today learn from our experiences, look at the other leaders, learn to be there where the organization, its values, its principles is aligned with what we do. Are we all present? Let's ask ourselves, are we present today to experience the growth mindset? Ask yourself, are you reading or are you practicing? Well, that will be my question. Are you inspiring the new generation of leaders? Experience doesn't really state we know it all. Is the experience going to transfer the knowledge to the next gen? Will the next gen also accept responsibility and work together? With that being said, let us today rejoice in the growth mindset. Thank you. Now it gives me immense pleasure to say a big cheer to our theme, Growth Mindset for Leaders. I will now invite, put your hands together, to Toastmaster Yusli, who will raise the toast. She believes growth mindset is like a magnet. It'll attract people to make sure it accelerates them. Toastmaster Yusli, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster of the Day. Greeting colleague Toastmasters and guests. I know nothing except my ignorance. This Socrates quote can use as the definition of the growth mindset, as we are having an open mind by accepting and embracing the limits of our abilities and knowledge as human as well as leaders. With this attitude, we humbly give our knowledge, our curiosity, the power to take us to discover new perspectives. We can look at the world with bright eyes and see full of possibilities as a young child. When we observing the free-thinking young children, what is special about them is that they constantly have lots of questions on everything possible subject. They have no comfort zone, no fixed knowledge. They want to grow so much that they become thirsty. Thirsty for knowledge, thirsty for progress, thirsty for growth. And that is a huge strength. As adults, we may be embarrassed because we don't know the answer for their questions or even never thought about them, but we will never be bored with young children around. As a leader and grown people, we tend to free ourselves from this constant enthusiasm and the desire to grow, to go beyond our capacities. The growth mindset is the magnet for progress and change. My dear friends, to keep the spirit of growth, I encourage you today to learn, unlearn, and relearn. And we will keep on blooming. So I invite you all to raise your glasses to the ability to learn, unlearn, and relearn.
Learn, unlearn, and relearn.
Unlearn and relearn.
Madam Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you very much indeed to learn, unlearn, and relearn. Thank you, Toastmaster Yousley, for that inspiring message. Everybody here today purely believes in growth mindset, and that's why we are here. Now would like to invite our timer, DTM Nina John, to kindly state the time and describe the role, please. Kindly unmute the audio. Yeah, thank you.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Good afternoon, good morning. I'm Nina John, your timekeeper, and I will time you as per the times on the agenda. At the end of each session, that is speakers and evaluators, I shall post the times into the chat box. So these are the timings that I have already displayed, red, yellow, and green. Please check your virtual, my hand will be raised all the time, so please make sure that you pin me if required. And I'd like to make sure that all of you stick to your timings as far as possible, as a sign of respect to all the other speakers as well. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you very much for that crisp and clear explanation, DTM Nina John. Well, the next person is the grammarian. May I invite DTM Hannah Schmidt, truly the walking, talking growth mindset person of our club. Over to you to explain the word of the day and your role, please.
First, I have to find myself. First, I have to find, oh, there we are. Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. I am your grammarian for today. Unfortunately, there was a hiccup in my background. Devote is not the word of the day. Evolution is the word of the day, and it surely fits with today's theme, growth set for leaders. So evolution is the rapid evolution of IT networks that has changed the world, and it is still going on to change the world. I don't think we can stop it. So please evolutionize and use that word of the day in whatever context, proper context you can use. Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster of the Day. Evolution is the word.
Evolution is the word, and we are all evolved, and that clearly shows today. Thank you very much, timer and the grammarian, for so beautifully putting out the time and the word. May I encourage everybody to use it in your speech. Well, now, the moment we've all waited for, what you saw on the flyers, Leadership Speaks, educational session. Now, who is this person? She's somebody who says her name means fairness. Her philosophy in life is to give back to the society. She's a self-starter and believes in the quote, success is reserved for those who persevere. After retirement, she's moved into the space of education, and here she is teaching the less privileged and the privileged language, English, those who speak as a second language. I would like to introduce and invite Jennifer Ghosh. Our topic today is Growing Together Exponentially. Growing Together Exponentially, Jennifer Ghosh. Before that, may I invite our evaluator, DTM Sandravax, to kindly read out the purpose statement.
Sorry, I was just going to scoot past that. This is presentation mastery 5, or level 5, and it's to prepare to speak professionally, presenting a keynote style speech. That's why it's wonderful to have it here, exemplifying a professional level speaker's point of view or a message in a style that supports the speech content. Looking forward to it, Jennifer. Back to you.
Thank you very much, DTM Sandra. everybody stands tall as somebody who believes in growth mindset. Now, help me in welcoming DTM Jennifer Helen Ghosh. DTM.
Thank you, Jyothi.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Give me a moment, Madam Timer, to just get my presentation on. I need to share my presentation. Just a minute. All right. Just get into the presentation mode. My apologies for that. Give me a moment. All right, here we go. Good evening. Good evening, dear leaders of Leadership Speak. I wondered what the leadership topic would be for quite a number of days before I decided and came up with growth mindset. The reason being, growth mindset, they say, is one of the fastest ways to learn. A growth mindset allows us to individually as well as collectively grow exponentially. It is said that Dr. Amit, as said by Dr. Amit, if we do small acts of kindness every day consistently over a period of time, it will have an exponential effect on the world. Now, as you can see, Dr. Ray is an author, he's a philosopher, and a spiritual master. He's also the pioneer of compassionate AI movement. Now, he has written a book which is called The Power of Exponential Mindset for Success and Leadership, and hence very, very connected to what we are in Leadership Speak. He speaks about fulfilling your fullest potential through an exponential mindset. It is about constantly raising our standards of what you expect from yourself in life. Each of us need to raise our expectations. He would like to teach us how to increase confidence, tackle daily challenges, and live with passion and purpose. Everything that Toastmasters teaches us. So connecting to this book was so very simple for me. He also shows us how to turn our self-saboting beliefs into positive mantras that will help us not only get what we all want a lot of things, but also kick fears to the curb, as he says, as he puts it, and finally reach our goals. When fear holds you back, it is not possible for you to be able to get what you want. And he writes this so very beautifully in his book. Our next beautiful Dr. Carol Dweck is another book which came to my mind when I was researching about this topic, because she has embraced this topic completely. The name of her book is Mindset. She speaks about how we can learn to fulfill our potential. And one vital concept of the book is the view you adopt for yourself profoundly affects the way you lead your life. Simple and beautifully put. Now, what is growth mindset versus a fixed mindset? Here we go. A growth mindset. I've just managed to pick out few from the many that are there, is basically freedom. Freedom because you preserve in the face of failures. Anyone with a growth mindset doesn't mind failures. They will accept any amount of failures because they feel that failures are the stepping stones to learning, to brighter opportunities. And they find inspiration from others. They take inspiration from others, like you and I take inspiration from everyone in leadership speak and in Toastmasters across the world. We, people with growth mindset, can embrace challenges. We love them. We feel that challenges are there only to help us become a more better version of us. And accepting criticisms, that's all part of the entire Toastmasters game. Like Nina John says, and that's the way of life, baby. Criticism is something which really helps us to grow. If you can accept criticism with an open mind and take the feedback that is given, it is something which is totally mind-blowing. Because these people who give you feedback, critical feedback, is just looking for your benefit. They are not. Why are they giving you that feedback? Why are they there to tell you what you have done good and what you could have done better? If they didn't have an interest in you, they want you to grow. And hence, if we accept as growth mindsets, we do accept criticisms, and it helps us become the best version of ourselves. Our desire to learn continues lifelong. It is said that if you do not learn and you just think you know everything, then you're as good as dead. What's the point in being alive if you're not ready to learn? So keep learning, keep growing, and keep serving. And the ability to build. We have the ability to build. What do we build? With an open mindset, with a growth mindset, we can not only build our own abilities, we can build others' abilities. Whereas here in my fixed mindset, it's totally limiting. Somehow they are not very happy with challenges because they feel that whatever I know, and the rest I'm not willing to learn. They give up very easily, totally threatened by others' success. If someone is going up, they do not feel good about themselves because they always want to be the best. And when they fail, they felt that I don't have the skills, I don't have the potential. desire to look smart all the time is the cause of their fixed mindset or failures. And of course, ignoring feedback. They would rather ignore feedback than take it positively. I had a friend in TCS who would never ask for his promotions. Why? Because in the past, he never got the promotions. He just felt that, okay, what's the point in asking? I'm not going to get it. Fixed mindset. So don't let fixed abilities keep you fixed and spoil your growth. And I'm sure all of us in Leadership Speak doesn't have to be told this. Hence, my dear leaders, we must not look at mindset as a binary concept. Everyone, you, me, others, have times had this mindset and growth mindset, maybe somewhere on the spectrum of others. And you will find that at times we are behaving with a very fixed mindset. But it all depends on the challenges or the situations we are coming across. I personally have had some fixed mindsets in the past in my life circle. There's no doubt about it. But when I get to read books like these, anything to do with growth, I feel my life is changing. My perspective is changing, and I am truly motivated to embrace a growth mindset as opposed to a fixed mindset. Carol also offers a very new perspective to her broadly embraced concept. This she introduced is a fact that other than growth mindset and fixed mindset, she has seen some people embrace a false growth mindset. A false growth mindset. Her research has shown that children who are praised for their intelligence and their talents are not really motivated learners. Rather, in fact, when children are praised for their intelligence, not intelligence, praised for the fact of their strategies, their hard work, their persistence, they remain more motivated and they can thrive with the challenges they face in their lives. So she has helped and guided people toward adopting and going deeper into the true growth mindset. How does she do this? By expanding the mindset concept, not only to individuals, but beyond individuals. She stands firm in her belief that with the right mindset, you can motivate those you lead, teach, and love to transform their lives and your own. Let me tell you, it's not only transformation or evolution of their lives, but your life too. There are a couple of challenges when we come to the fixed mindset, which I'll come to. But growth mindset, many a times there have been research which has said that NASA selects their astronaut when they reject people who have histories of success, because they believe that those applicants that have histories of success are not able to face failure and bounce back quickly again. There are so many examples of why a growth mindset is extremely important. As we recap growth mindset, I'd like to tell you that we can, as I said, embrace challenges because challenges are opportunities. If you take the sports professional, for instance, sports professionals have a fantastic high sense of growth. They realize that their success comes from hard work, just like you and me. Hard work. There are no shortcuts to success. It has to come through hard work and through found inspiration by doing your best. If you take Michael Jordan, he was one of the most hardworking basketball players in the history. He constantly worked on his weaknesses. Constantly, he would go into his defensive game, or he would do ball handling and basket shooting multiple times, hundreds times, just to get his shots straight. Once, when his team had lost their last game of the season, after speaking with his coach, Jordan went back on the court to practice for hours. Why? Why did he need to do that? Because he was already preparing for the next year's tournament. That was the level of hard work, perseverance, and growth mindset that he had with him. When we have setbacks, we persist. Understanding the setbacks are part of the learning process. It's not a reflection of our innate ability. Not at all. When we have such setbacks in our life, everyone has it. But when you talk about fixed mindset people, they will say, oh, setback, I'm not ready to accept that. I either do or I don't do. Whereas the growth mindset, they understand that setbacks is a learning process. It is there to help you reflect. Every time I go back after an LS session, I think of what did I do well and what could I have improved. That introspection itself is such a wonderful action that anyone can take so that they understand what happened and how they could help themselves to do better. Effort is a part to mastery. Recognizing that effort is necessary and it helps you to gain mastery. If I talk about my very favorite, Bruce Lee, he was a master in martial arts. He would say, I am not afraid of the person who practices daily 10,000 kicks. I'm afraid of that person who practices one kick 10,000. One kick 10,000. So therefore, when we take necessary steps to mastery, we will always reach our highest level of growth. Learn from criticism. I've already told you this. It's so important. And LS is such a wonderful club where I believe open feedback and honest feedback has always been the icing on the cake, for me at least. You need to find inspiration in others. I find inspiration in everyone here in LS. Every leader comes with his or her own unique skills. I really value that. and celebrating growth over perfection. You don't need to be perfect in everything you do. You just need to keep improving over time. It is not a big deal. Just wait your turn. Everyone can't be or Obama who speaks so beautifully in a day or in a month or in a year. You need to give it time to evolve. And fixed men's mindsets. They are not motivated. For example, there are many teachers I know of who have very low expectations. They assume that students cannot improve or succeed, and therefore they will not provide them with the support that the student needs. Very, very difficult to make these teachers understand that the weaker students need your support much more than those students who already have the knowledge. And when a colleague of mine, as I was telling you in TCS, he would never apply for a job interview, even though he was so unhappy with his present job in TCS. Why? Because he was scared, believing that he lacked the required skills or the abilities, rather than thinking, when I used to tell him, that you need to recognize the need for upskilling. You need to do something to train yourself in a different department or a different skill. But he would say, no, I don't have the abilities. Bang. What can you say to that? These people do not believe that the past doesn't equal the future. What do you say, Madam Toastmaster?
I think that deserves a round of applause. Thank you very much. That was our educational speaker for the day. For those with a fixed mindset, limitations become the wall of their reality. While you have a growth mindset, challenges are the stepping stones to their own evolution and for those around them. We now move on to the next very interesting part, prepared speeches. And our first speaker for this session is our very own Toastmaster, Leya Musunga. Before she goes ahead to speak, may I invite her evaluator, her speech evaluator, Toastmaster Natati, to read out her speech purpose statement, please.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster of the Day and fellow Toastmasters and guests, especially special greetings to Leya. The purpose of Leya's project is for Leya to learn or review basic research methods and present a well-organized, researched speech on any topic. The purpose of the speech is to research and present on an unfamiliar topic. Organize the speech clearly to maximize audience understanding. Craft clear and engaging transitions between the main sections of her speech. Use and cite sources to support speech content. This project is taken from the Effective Coaching Path, Level 3, Project 2, and Elective Speech number 2. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you very much. Do we have our speaker there? May I request you to unmute your audio, please? Toastmaster Leya Musunga, forgiveness, Forgiveness, Toastmaster Leya Musunga. The virtual stage is yours.
Who hasn't been hurt by the actions or words of another person? The wounds that they leaves us with feelings of resentment, bitterness, anger, and even hatred. Good day, fellow Toastmasters and guests. A few years ago, I found myself in a situation with one of my really close friends when our relationship disintegrated. One day, we were laughing and enjoying ourselves. The next week, I found out I had been blocked from her phone. She wasn't taking any of my calls, responding to any of my messages, and I didn't know why. When I eventually found out, I was shocked. I thought the disagreement we had wasn't that major. And for my friend to take the steps that she took to try and show me just how unhappy she was with me, I thought was very unfair. I was therefore angry. Why do we sometimes hold on to anger and resentment? In a November 13, 2020 article in the Mayo Clinic, it talked about the effects of what happens when we hold on to grudges with people. I'll just share with you 3 that I know related to my story. Number 1, it brings anger and bitterness into our relationships and any new experiences that we have. The second one, you become so wrapped up into what has gone wrong that you can't even enjoy what's happening in the present. The third one, you become depressed, irritable, and anxious. I was definitely wrapped up into what had happened with my friend. That when anyone tried to speak to me about reconciling, I would turn the other way. Eventually, one of my friends who I really respected sat me down and told me I needed to take steps to forgive my friend. In that same article from the Mayo Clinic for November 13th, 2020, they also listed the benefits of forgiveness. When you forgive someone, 1, it opens you up to have healthier relationship. You have improved mental health. You're less anxious, stressful, and you're less hostile. And you definitely have fewer symptoms of depression. Joyce Meyer once said, harboring forgiveness is like drinking poison and expecting your enemy to die. So forgiveness is not just about the other person. It's also for you to be able to heal and move on. In a February 2015 article in the Huffington Post by Cliff Isa, he talked about 3 steps that one can take on a path to forgiveness. Number 1, acknowledge your feelings. Acknowledge that you were hurt. or the sadness and the grief that you may go through. The second one, breathe in compassion. Try and see the situation from the other person. The third step, forgive unconditionally. There should be no strings attached. When you forgive, you don't change the past. You are changing the future. Eventually, I met my friend. We cried and talked about everything that had gone on. And at the end, we even laughed. And those were part of the steps for us to move on with our healing and forgiveness. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, you may be able to forgive even though there is no reconciliation. Just remember that when you practice forgiveness, you are embracing peace and hope. So if there's anyone here, whether you've had a family, friend, relative, or anyone who you're harboring hurt and resentment against, I would like to encourage you to practice forgiveness so you may be able to move on. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very much. Easier said than done. Forgiveness. Forgiveness is vital for a growth mindset. That shows evolution. It fosters resilience, learning, and that's the only way we show adaptability. Thank you very much for that, Toastmaster Leya. Now we move on to our second speaker. This person for me at Leadership Speak, pivotal epitome of growth mindset, always the extra mile, going way beyond. Well, you can't stop. Everybody will agree with me. The second speaker for the day is none other than our very own Paramjit Singh. Before I call him on stage, I would like to invite his speaker Soundar to state the purpose of his speech, please.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster of the Day and leaders present here. Toastmaster Paramjit is attempting Level 1, Mastering Fundamentals. Project 3, Introduction to Vocal Variety and Body Language in Pathway Engaging Humor. The purpose of this speech by Toastmaster Paramjit is for the member to practice using vocal variety or body language to enhance the speech. Speech length is between 5 to 7 minutes. Wishing the best to Toastmaster Paramjit.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Soundar. Paramjit Singh, what is in a name? What is in a name? Toastmaster Paramjit Singh. Virtual stage is yours. Kindly unmute your audio. Thank you.
William Shakespeare made Juliet say, "What is in a name?" The thing which we call rose is going to smell sweet. Dear fellow Toastmasters, and if any of Shakespeare fans here, I would like to ask, who is Shakespeare to decide this? Who? I didn't want to drag him into this, but after I was named Paramjit, a very common name, my life was never rosy. I had to go through different challenges in my life. I still recall in my primary school, I had to sit with 6 girls. Well, I don't complain about that. That's a good, very good. But The people used to tease me, you know why? Pummy, 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 pummy. And I used to cry, mummy, mummy, mummy. Because all those 6 damsels' name was Paramjit and their short name was Pummy. The challenge became more bigger in my high school. You know, to differentiate between different Paramjits, they used to give me different names. Fatsu Paramjit, Shorty Paramjit, Didi Paramjit, no? Double Doos Paramjit. And even Paramjit 2, Paramjit 3. Of course, there were few generous people also who used to call me Lead Paramjit. Why? I was so happy that they have found my leader in me. But that was not the leadership. It was the heaviest metal lead they were calling about. And then came the graduation of my college. As my name was announced for the gold medal, I started waving to people like this, like a celebrity. And then I saw somebody on the stage, Paramjit, receiving my gold medal. And I have to show my ration card to prove my identity. I got married in 1994. Most brave men take that decision. I also took that decision, but I had a sleepless nights. Oh, no medical problem, no medical problem. The only thing was, I was again having Paramjit phobia. I was thinking that some other Paramjit will come like a Spider-Man and will take my bride away. But it didn't happen. After 25 years of my marriage, now I think if it could have happened, if it might have happened, actually it should have happened. But I was not that lucky. How many of you have namesakes and challenges with the name? But you know what is namesake version 2? Once I was held up at a Delhi airport to find that a drug peddler named Paramjit is having his parents' names also matching with my parents' name. Oh my goodness, it was like finding another twin brother who is in a different profession. And panic gripped me. I started even looking at my pockets. Oh my God, maybe I may be having something in my pockets also. And you know what saved me? My marriage. Because the passport, it was my wife's name, and that gentleman was still living idle and enjoying the life. Can you imagine? Your matrimony can also save you from such identity crisis. Now, from the last 10 years, I was at peace because there was no Paramjit in my organization. Maybe company was done with one only, and they have an HR policy, no more Paramjit allowed. But I shook my own foot. I took one of my European manager to India, and the first company we visited was having a name, Paramjit's Manufacturing Company. And now a lot of Paramjits have started coming to UAE also. And my name has now changed to Local Paramjit. I don't know how many names I will get in the life I have still not gone. But I would like to tell Mr. Shakespeare, thank God you were born in 16th century. If you are born in 21st century and your name was used by drug peddlers, smugglers, even politicians, and you have billboards, big billboards saying, the first choice of Juliet, Shakespeare shoes. The cakes you never miss, Shakespeare cakes. I am sure you would have never said and asked Juliet to say what is in a name. Over to you.
It's going to take me some time to even stop laughing away. How many of us can say, what is in a name? Paramjit. Well, thank you very much. That was truly evolutionary kind of a speech. Now, the third speaker truly connects with people, is always looking at going the extra mile, learning from people, talking to people. Give me more, give me more. Well, he's not Oliver Twist. He is Toastmaster Mrinal Kanti Ghosh. Before I call him on stage, I would like to invite his evaluator. Amit, is he there? Yes, thank you very much. Evaluator, Amit Dudani. Kindly read out the statement.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster of the Day. Mrinal will be attempting his Level 3 Project 2 under the pathway Visionary Communication. The purpose of the speech is for Mrinal to deliver a speech on a topic that is new or unfamiliar to the club members. And the harder part is to adapt to audience reaction to maintain engagement. I wish Mrinal all the very best. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you very much. Mrinal Kanti Ghosh. Human connection. Human connection, Mrinal Kanti Ghosh. The virtual podium is yours. Thank you.
Fellow Toastmasters and dear guests, today I share with all of you a secret formula. What is a secret formula? Yes, how to impress your girlfriend or maybe boyfriend or maybe in the boss, in the office boss. It's interesting. Yes, today we talk about human connections, friends. What is human connections? Anybody willing to say or any willing to chat? What is human connection? Today is the era. I know that somebody already responded in the group also. It's all about a relationship. Abraham told about the relationship. So for me, the human connection is a deep bonding. Yes, rapport. That's formed between deep caring and valued when you seen in the peoples. It's come from authenticity. It's not like that. Yeah, you're good. Yeah, you're looking good. But it should come from your heart. Connection should be authenticity. But tell me, friends, why I'm talking about the human connection? What is the relevant in today's era about the human connection? Let's have some facts and figures. I share with all of you. First, according to Gallup reports, only 15% employees worldwide are engaged with their jobs. Only 15%. Now, talking about the team collaborations, according to the Massachusetts University of Technology, said that those people have very good team bonding in their group. Their success rate is 7 times higher. Can you imagine that? 7 times higher. Now, talking about the leadership impact, is there any leadership impact about the human connections? Those people are strongly connected with their employees. The success rate is much higher than any other. Now, I'm talking to another important facts, which is we need to look into this matters about the connection of innovations and also why innovation is important. Innovation, because it's a study from Deloitte. People are twice as innovative, those who are deeply interconnected beyond the same organization. those organizations are much more innovative. And employee retentions, as per the data which is published by LinkedIn, 94% of employees would prefer to stay stronger if we invested time for their career development. It's not only the increment part. I talk about my girlfriend. Yes, you're absolutely right. I think my wife is not present in front of me. Yes. So my girlfriend I'm talking about is my job. I love my job. I hate companies, but I love my jobs. So in jobs, I am responsible for the 13 states. It's almost area more than Japan, if in terms of size. And food production in our zone is almost 25%. And I have the responsibility for such a huge territory. And I'm such an introvert person. When I don't know initial phase of my career, how I connected with the peoples, trust me, it's very challenging. But further, I noticed it's always better whenever you connect with within organization, you should connect from your heart. Deep connection, try to understand the people. When you talk, you listen. Active listen is very important. Listen to the customer, listen to the audience. Your internal customer is very much important. And one of the most important characters we normally forget, stay connected. What happens? Suppose I need something from you and I'll get it. Most of the time, what happens? People forget to reciprocate for the longer run. So long connection is very much important for customer benefit. Today's era, we are talking about omni-channel. What is omni-channel? It's a future. Yes. We are busy with our technology, AI. Good. But far and foremost important, human connections. This is the missing part. And we have to take care properly. If we want to grow, foster grow as an individual, as an organization, this is very much mandatory. So friends, how you can do that? Some of the important things and figures I'm talking about. So I normally use to this formula actually. When I connect with people, stay authenticity, open up with the peoples, share my own feelings, connect with empathy. Empathy plays a very important role. And trust me, if you do that, you will be a successful person as an individual and your organization will also be successful. I'll just share my current one story. Recently, we organized one meeting with one of the big giant company in India. So we engaged more than 10,000 employees for that. How it is possible, how I achieve this in a short span of time is all about human connection, the connection surrounding you. But connection means a positive influence of circles. I believe in the whole universe divided into two parts, circle of influence and circle of negativity. So friends, try to connect with always positive influence of circle with your bonding. It's not about Facebook or LinkedIn or Instagram. You may have 3K, 4K followers, or maybe 1 million. But friends, real friend circle is very rare, but you keep connected with them. That is very much important. This is the missing area, friends. We need to cope up. We need to success as a beautiful world. We need to engage with the peoples by deep connections and respect people. Treat your people with empathy, and you can see the beautiful future. You always see your own happy faces and happy faces for the others. So friends, connect with you nowadays, human connections. Let's create a culture in LS because we want long-term success as a #1 club. Not only 1 year, consecutive year. That is only possible if we connected. Human connection is required. What do you think, our table topic master?
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Mrinal. Embracing empathy cultivates a growth mindset. So truly put across. Thank you. Now, our next speaker works with people, makes sure the youth are right there taken care of. Toastmaster Dinesh Sharma. To evaluate his speech, we have DTM Noorul. May I invite DTM Noorul to read out the purpose statement, please?
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. Toastmaster Dinesh Sharma will deliver his Level 4 Speech 2 of Path Team Collaboration. The purpose of the speech is for the member to share some aspect of his or his public relation strategy. Over to you, TMOD.
Thank you very much, DTM. Dinesh Sharma. Effective public relations is key to brand building. Effective public relation is key to brand building. Dinesh Sharma. Over to you.
Those of us who live in North America knows that we have different coffee companies here. Tim Hortons, Starbucks, many others. Tim Hortons sells a coffee for $2. Starbucks sells a coffee for $5. There are other which sells for 40 cents, 50 cents. And I start thinking, why is that? Coffee is coffee. You take a cup, you add a coffee beans, you add a water and brew it, and you have a coffee. Why is that somebody charges 40 cents and the other charges $5 for a same coffee? It is all about brand. And effective public relations is key to brand building. Madam Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. I went to India recently, and when I was going for a business meeting, I saw this wonderful picture at the back of an auto. And it said, advertising is key to business development. What is he saying? Branding is important. However, there are different ways you can build a brand. So when you're building a brand, first of all, you have to figure it out. What's the purpose? What are you trying to do? You want to create a positive public opinion about your brand where none currently exist? Or there is a positive opinion and you want to reinforce it? Or last but not the least is, if there is some negative activities or negative opinion or neutral opinions are going about your brand, your company, you as an individual, then you want to change it. That's the purpose of whole brand building is. And in order to do that too, we use a 5W strategy. Who, what, where, when, and why. Who do we want to target it? What do we want our messaging to be? Where are we posting it? What platform? Is it Facebook? Is it LinkedIn? Or as Mrinal said, human connections are very, very important. Yes, today's is the world of social media. Okay, people spend a lot more time on social media rather than spending time on a one-to-one connections. So when you're building your brand building strategies, public relation strategies, you have to figure out where are you posting it? When do you post it? I used to, when I started building the brand building for my company, I used to post it every different times and all this too. Then I got a branding expert. He says, Dinesh, you should build it up. When you're posting it on social media, you should post it between Tuesday to Thursday, between 8 o'clock in the morning to 12 o'clock in the afternoon, because that's where the most attraction that you will get. So following his strategy, now I do that too. So when do you post it? And the very, very important is, why are you posting it? Why are you doing what you are doing it? So who, what, where, when, and why are very, very important in terms of public relations is when you are building a brand for yourself. As Madam Toastmaster said, we run a not-for-profit organization to support the newcomers and international student community, and we run different activities. So if I'm promoting a specific program, an upcoming program, what do? I post about that program. I post about the previous attendees of that program, but more importantly, I post about the feedback, the positive feedback that I got it from the participant of the previous program. You know, people always wants to attend. They want to see the real testimonials. Coming back to the Tim Horton thing, the coffee company, they have a brand called Always Fresh. That's a brand building. Okay. If I'm promoting an event, we have an event coming up tomorrow. If I'm promoting an event to support the student community, then you want to highlight the people that you are bringing them in to attend that event or to be a speaker for that event, to attract the audience, because again, people want to hear from the subject matter experts whenever they are attending an event. But not only that, people want to hear from the people, like we are in Toastmasters. We all want to hear from other leadership Toastmasters. And as Jennifer was saying in the earlier presentation, we celebrate each other's success. So we have an event tomorrow to support the student community. So in addition to having the subject matter experts, we have these wonderful students that are going to be sharing their experiences on how they have been benefited by working, by collaborating with Brilliant Minds Group, our organization. But if you want to promote the organization, then you share how far you have come. But more importantly, you want to show it as a team collaboration, that BMG is not only Dinesh's baby. We have a structure. This is how far we have come. People want to see the growth. That's the evolutions that we have seen. And as I said, the theme of the meeting is growth mindset. In growth mindset, you want to show that, hey, we have evolved so much that we were presented with the Promising Startup Company Award. And look at the team picture, how happy they are. And the other part, one of the things that we believe always is gender equality. Equal opportunities for male and female. So these are the messages that you want to send it out when you're promoting your organization. Last but not the least, summarizing it, effective public relation is key to your brand building. It is a very, very low cost, high return activity. You meet people one-on-one, you go on social media, you promote your organization. But very important is it requires time, effort, and consistency. But very importantly, the messaging needs to be very authentic. People will catch it quickly if your messaging is not authentic. That's all from me. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you very much. Brand building involves fostering continuous learning, and that's evolution that connects with growth mindset. Now we come to the last speaker for this session. This lovely lady with a great sense of humor. Always, no matter what challenge comes her way, is constantly looking at getting to the next rung, moving up. Won't you all agree? Evolution and growth mindset is part of her name. Toastmaster Angela Brown. May I now call upon her evaluator, Toastmaster Nakawe, Toastmaster Nakawi, to read out the purpose statement, please. Thank you.
Madam Toastmaster of the Day, fellow Toastmasters and guests, be greeted. Angela is pursuing her effective coaching level 4 pathway, and the purpose of her speech is for the member to develop and apply skills for coaching a fellow member or a person outside of Toastmasters who can benefit from her expertise. The purpose of her speech is for the member to share some aspect of her experience coaching. And the title of the speech is Soar Like an Eagle. Thank you.
Angela Brown, Soar Like an Eagle. Soar Like an Eagle, Angela Brown. Over to you.
Eagles come in all shapes and sizes, but you can recognize them by their attitudes. Where can we find these eagles? Hello, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests. Today, I'd like to share with you a heartfelt story about two women that I had the pleasure of mentoring in my Toastmasters Discovery Toastmaster Club. Our adventure began the tour of the Toastmasters International website, where we delved into the Pathways program. And I had the pleasure of helping these women choose their own unique path through the assessment process. The first mentee dove headfirst into her speech. In just 1 week, she completed her level 1 icebreaker speech. She didn't stop there. She continued with her speeches. Every speech she made showed the passion in her heart in every speech. When she found out there was an opportunity to be a part of our club contest, she immediately read through her speeches, her level 2 speeches, and was able to grace our stage at the club contest. The second mentee chose her own unique path that showed her aspirations. But she still went at a speed to be able to do her speeches, and she showed what she wanted with her own personal development. She even joined our club executive program. Watching that first mentee's rapid speed through her speeches reminded me of a fleeting bird discovering its own wings. Both mentees showed immense self-dedication and commitment to self-improvement. Watching these mentees doing their speeches and showing such passion and love for Toastmasters remind me of the essence and the vital lessons of Toastmasters. Mentoring is not just about guiding the lost. It's about nurturing independent spirits and providing the tools and support they need for continuous self-improvement. Mentoring is not, we don't just learn from our mentees. They learn from us. It's a two-way process. I learned that Toastmasters is an organization that's committed to self-discovery, self-improvement, and unwavering commitment to personal development and growth. Our mentees are meant to showcase their own passionate and unique path, not just and us to guide them through this process. So I say this again, eagles come in all shapes and sizes. We can find lots of eagles in our Toastmasters community. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you very much. The eagle does soar. Well, that brings us to the next part of the session. May I request DTM Nina to kindly post the timer's report on the chat, please. Very clearly, do the timer's role and you will evolve time and again. Growth mindset. Now, it gives me immense pleasure. When I looked at this particular person's biodata, profile,
Jyothi,
it was almost...
before that, if you can
yes.
launch it.
Oh, sorry, yes. The poll, yes. Thank you very much, Brahm, for that reminder. Now is the difficult task to pick the right effort speaker, the best effort speaker right there. May I have everybody please pick the best effort speaker? Let's get it going. Everybody, please. Thank you for those of you who voted. The polls are out there. There's always a slip between the cup and the lip. I had to forget that best effort speaker. Nonetheless, all's well that goes well. Have we got, okay, thank you very much. I have the all good to go from the timer. Well, I think we have a very clear winner right there, and that will be brought in towards the end of the session. Moving on. Does this person need an introduction? Well, I doubt. When I started reading through, it felt like a long grocery list. Dr. Ashwathi Rajan, our general evaluator for the session. We talk about evolution. Guess what? From a scientist, she decides to become an instructional coach. With success, e-learning, a startup that she runs by herself. Passionate educator. At Toastmasters, she has several titles in the leadership realm. And at Leadership Speak, she gallops, runs, trots the PR and marketing person. Hard not to be noticed. I now hand over the proceedings to none other than the lady who's smiling at us, Dr. Ashwathi Rajan. Virtual stage is yours.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Jyothi, for that beautiful introduction. I'm really delighted. So hello, everyone. I am Toastmaster Ashwathi Rajan, the the general evaluator for today's meeting. And as you all know, my role is to evaluate the whole proceedings of the meeting. And to start with, we have the evaluator who is going to evaluate the toast of the day. The speaker who raised the toast was Usually Joseph, and the evaluator is Toastmaster Ray Rivero. Let me introduce our evaluator. He joined Toastmasters in February 2012, and he has been a member of 4 clubs across 2 districts and has earned the DTM award in 2 different education paths. He believes the opportunity and desire to expand outside of the comfort zone sets the growth mindset for leaders. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome DTM Ray Rivero to evaluate Usually Joseph.
Thank you so very much as well. Usually, I liked how you presented this toast because you not only spoke clearly, you focused on the camera, the window to us, the audience, and you presented a good use of words. This evolution of learning, unlearning, and relearning captures our theme so succinctly. I loved how you presented your points and your meeting theme's importance. One thing to work on. I noticed that you were sitting down and you try to use gestures, but they sort of just peaked like that. And then they peaked again and again. One cure is to stand up, to express yourself, and put in more of the non-verbal strengths to enhance your message. If you still don't have the opportunity to stand up, you can remember to just keep those hands above the stage, around shoulder level, so that you have a chance to express yourself, even in such a confined space. Overall, very good toast. You set up your students' Zoom stage presence there. And if you learn to just express yourself with your gestures, whether you're sitting down or better yet, standing up, you can make a more impactful toast to go from good to better. And that is the aspect of a growth mindset for a speaker and a leader. Over to you, Madam General Event.
Thank you, DTM Ray, for that wonderful evaluation. I just love the way you explained Usually about the body language. Your body language was resonating the feedback. I mean, you explained it clearly with your actions. So that was wonderful. And of course, the important feedback which you gave about the Zoom presence, that is also something which I wanted to share here, that if she could have stood up and delivered the whole speech with raising her toast, I think that would have had a great impact. So thank you for those feedback. So now moving on to the next evaluator, who is going to evaluate our Madam Toastmaster of the Day, Jyothi Thomas. And to evaluate her, we have a journalist who's a communication officer and brand manager. He serves as VPPR in Lubova Toastmasters Club in District 114 and is the charter president and current president of the Rotaract Club of YMCA in Uganda. He is dedicated to being a self-directed leader with futuristic views of the future. So we have Toastmaster Baron Ochola to evaluate our TMOD, Toastmaster Jyothi Thomas. Over to you, Baron. Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. Wonderful introduction. And with that, I will carry that energy to evaluating our Toastmaster of the day, of the evening for us in Uganda. Our Toastmaster of the day has been very intentional in her preparation of the meeting. She reached out to me 3 weeks ago about taking on the role. So you can tell how good I feel about taking on the role, because I feel like the time was well respected. And I'm going to share a couple of criteria that we shall use. Meeting management will be the fact. Yes, she directed the meeting well, adhered to the agenda, and had seamless transitions. She engaged the audience well. As far as the speaker introductions, our Toastmaster of the day provided relevant details about the speakers, and that made us want to hear from the speakers even more. The smooth transitions, where the Toastmaster of the day shared something about what was said or acknowledged the speaker and then moved to the next speaker or the next segment of the meeting. Next, we had the theme selection, and that is growth mindset for leaders. What a topic to speak about. What we enjoy the most in Toastmasters is the environment of abundance. And that topic is one that relates with each of us and that we can learn more about each and every time. Next, we have the inspirational speech, the 1 to 2 minute speech that she delivered to get us into the theme. That got the audience engaged and ready for what was yet to come, and it filled the purpose right here. The meeting structure was also familiarized with, and you could see that the agenda was followed to the notes, and whatever detail was to be worked out was worked out in the background. What points of improvement would I share with our Toastmaster of the day? It would be to add on the enthusiasm a little bit while you're delivering, such that in case you are to hold for a longer meeting, members stay engaged off your energy alone and not only the speakers, because your energy is very infectious. You had it up there, just adding on to that. And the next will be adding a bit more other than the topic of the speaker's speech. It will be good to capture a quote from what they said. That helps us to know that you're not only thinking about the theme, but you're also listening to the speaker while they're presenting. Away from that, I would like to see you hosting the Global Leadership Impact Summit and events of the sort of a much longer time, such that you can challenge yourself further. Back to you, Madam Zero. Thank you, Toastmaster Baron, for your feedback. I mean, the way you made your feedback, it was so complete because you spoke about the pre-meeting setup, the arrangements on which our Toastmaster of the day was working. It was more than 2 weeks. It was not 1 day before the meeting, 2 days before the meeting, but at Leadership Speak, we just start working on our next meeting in advance. It is almost 2 to 3 weeks before the meeting date, and that was done by the TMOD, and you acknowledged that effort and the back-end work, what Toastmaster of the day did, choosing a right theme. And also one thing which I want to add here, creating a WhatsApp group where all the role players are added, where the coordination, the actual work happens. That was so very well managed by the Toastmaster of the day. And I love the beginning. The beginning was super power-packed beginning. And the feedback which Baron gave about the engagement, I think one way to do that was having an interaction with the audience. Maybe you could have asked some questions and get the feedbacks in the chat box. That would have added up and had a better engagement with the audience. So that is one small feedback from my side, but kudos to the great job. This was a well organized, well structured meeting, and so far you were going as with the agenda, the timing, everything was followed perfectly. And I know that every time we may have some kind of last minute dropouts and all those changes, and that was very well handled. So kudos to you, and a big round of applause to our Toastmaster of the day. So moving on to our speeches. Now, our first speech was the leadership speech by DTM Jennifer. And to evaluate her speech, we have Toastmaster Sandra Walks, who has gifted all of us, or gifted the world. It was a free gift, the Mind Shift Mondays. And she believes that mind shifting our personal and professional growth empowers our efforts in the world of leadership. And according to her, creativity, curiosity, connection, community, and communication are essential in leadership growth. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Sandra Walks to evaluate our leadership speaker, DTM Jennifer.
Thank you so much. And especially you, Jennifer, for when you asked me to evaluate, I said, oh, are you ready? You got broad shoulders. And you know, Jennifer, in Jennifer's style, as long as you're compassionate, I'm good. This is for growth. And I am seeing such evolution when I watch Jennifer settle into the authentic presentation. And after returning from teaching or moving into teaching ESL and so on, growing together exponentially. What I saw was a very calm, organized, well thought out content, really beautiful content laid out. And it is a mindset of growth that you're achieving. What I would like to see, though, is that with having your PowerPoint, I didn't get to see you. And anyone with a single monitor would not have seen you. You are where I look to connect. So then I switched over to the speaker view so I could see it. But within your PowerPoint presentation, not that I'm techie, but I know that you can be inserted in there so that we can see you inside the PowerPoint. Now, when we come to the PowerPoint, I felt that it allowed you to hide away a little bit. And this one, this slide, could have been your background and was the only thing you needed. It was absolutely amazing. You stayed on this slide for a long time just talking to us, which was beautiful. This would be your background. We would have you. So it would be back there. Because as you just talked to the point, now you're able to connect authentically. Absolutely authentically to our hearts. It's so easy to stay rational, be organized, stay in our heads. Aren't we doing well? But when we can actually engage the audience and reach right into Zoom and get our hearts involved, that's the connection. People will remember how you made them feel. They won't remember what you said. And that happens in these fast speeches so easily. We go blah, 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 blah. But how did it feel? And the feeling is what will stay. And my feeling for you is that you are a passionate, caring person. That's what I take away. That's what I take away. And I think that's so important. Humor. You have some lovely natural humor. You admitted fixed mindset points. Oh, yes, I had some. Imagine. You know what? We all have them and we still have them all the time. So it's really critical to just have fun with that. Say, yeah, there was a time I had a fixed mindset. Stop. Let it go into our head and get processed, then go down into ourselves so we can say, yeah, I remember those, still do them today. So that's what's going on. And so without the pause and the time to do that, it's gone and you've moved into the next step. I could see that your gestures today were much more natural. And I really appreciate it. Instead of practicing, well, I'm going to put my hands here and then I'm going to do. No, today you were speaking from your heart and naturally. Congratulations to you on your own evolution as you step into RA. GE.
Thank you, Sandra, for that wonderful evaluation. I just love the way you just incorporated your feedback with the highlights, the points which you loved in the speech, in the leadership speech today. Both were going hand in hand. First you highlighted the best part which you loved, and then the feedback about it and your thoughts on it. So it was wonderfully woven, your evaluation, the structure of evaluation. I loved the way you took a printout. I mean, you just went one step ahead. You took a printout and you explained that how would have it looked if she would have had that slide as a background. I mean, amazing. Kudos for that. And Another thing which I liked was your recommendation. All the points which you noticed, especially about the emotional connect, which you mentioned that that part was something where she could have worked on, and about the PowerPoint slides. Even I had the same suggestion here that the PowerPoint, some slides, they were there for the long time. And also in the beginning, there was some time wasted for setting up this PowerPoint slides. So maybe you could have utilized the pre-meeting time which we use for networking. Maybe before that, you could have checked your PPT or the slides, how it looks and whether it is working properly to save that time. That's all. And another thing was about the hand movements. You mentioned that it was from her heart, and there's, yes, that we could see that all those emotions were clearly coming across through the hand gestures when she was talking about certain examples. Another suggestion which I feel could be the source of information, because she was sharing some interesting facts, example about the NASA and all. Maybe she could have mentioned the source that could have added some credibility in the about the content. So that's something which I wanted to add here. So wonderful speech and great feedback about the leadership speech today. Thank you. So now moving on to the next speech by our first speaker, Leya Musunga, and the evaluator, Tati Mukanso. She's a disaster management practitioner and a fervent social justice advocate. Her profound dedication in aiding and empowering vulnerable communities in assessing government basic services and young people to assess work and employment opportunities epitomizes the spirit of continuous growth, resilience, and collaborative problem solving. And she measures the growth of a leader by the quality and quantity of leaders they produce. What a wonderful thought, Natati. So over to you to evaluate Leya Musunga's speech.
Your microphone.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you forgive, you don't change the past, but you change the future. Madam Toastmaster of the Day, fellow Toastmasters and guests, that one statement by Toastmaster Leya was the absolute highlight of our entire meeting. Toastmaster Leya, congratulations on your educational speech in which you succinctly explained the pros of forgiving and the cons of not forgiving, which was you supported your argument by literature, which educate us. You cited 3 sources to support your argument. This is in line with the objectives of your speech. The story of your friend blocking you, and ultimately the hero who encouraged you to reconcile, and the emotions that were involved throughout the process of redressing the fallout fully affirms the objectives of your speech, particularly the title on forgiveness. You concluded very concisely, and your conclusion has left a memory in my mind, especially when you quoted Meyer, who said, holding a grudge is like drinking poison with the hope that someone else is going to die. The call to action in which we encouraged forgiveness as a virtue has been noted and captured. I would suggest that to enhance your speech, you consider peer-reviewed literature, because forgiveness is a concept of interest in psychology currently. And also, I suggest that you align your emotions with what you say. There was no alignment between your facial expression and where you were saying you were emotional, you were sad, you were unhappy. So there should be an alignment. In summary, your speech was well crafted, educational, referenced by and presented with passion, and you had a clear call to action. Work on aligning your emotions with what you say. And back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Natati, for that wonderful evaluation. Yes, you very well said that the speech had a very strong message. The call to action was very clear. But somewhere I too felt that the expressions, the emotions did not come across. And that is one missing thing which I feel she can work on. And of course, and one more thing which you could have included in your feedback was about the Zoom presence. I saw that she was standing at one place and the whole speech was delivered at that point. So the speech had a scope to move and use that speaking area. So that could have been done. And somewhere I felt the eye contact also, it was not maintained throughout the speech. So about Zoom presence, maybe that is something on which she can work on. Otherwise, a wonderful speech, very touching, and a great concept. Beautiful message. Thank you so much, Leya and Natati. Now, moving on to our next evaluator, who is going to evaluate our speaker number 2, Paramjit Singh. And the evaluator who is going to evaluate his speech is Soundar Subramanian, who is working to hone blending and balancing critical and creative thinking skills by performing evaluations, and as he is doing today. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Toastmaster Soundar to evaluate Toastmaster Paramjit's speech. Over to you, Toastmaster Soundar.
Thank you, General Evaluator Toastmaster Dr. Ashwati. Toastmaster Paramjit, I Googled for the meaning of your name. It says, higher success, supremely victorious, the perfect winner, ultimate victorious. And here you had with your name so many challenges. You made me think about the title and rethink what possibilities could happen. What's in the name? The same name that can cause shame, being called as Fanny, Fatty, Shorty, suffixes like Paramjit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and blame, right, for the thing that you haven't done, being detained in the airport, and the fame to claim your gold medal with the ration card. Physical gestures integrated with the content and the context to deliver exemplary speech, and how you evolved with your name, that also came out very well. About your name, starting with the disagreement with Shakespeare, yes, I also can have, hey, Shakespeare, what is that? What's in the name? Here, how he is struggling, you see? Right? I also kind of had that sentiment, you created that sentiment for you by challenging Shakespeare itself. Thoroughly enjoy the humor from the start, and let it be a school, college, marriage, airport, the Spider-Man not taking the bride, or the peddler is staying possibly single, right? There are thoughtful placements to enjoy the humor, made them to linger for longer. Your presence was commanding, staying close to the camera because it's about you who we are talking about, and use the hands and the body movements a great visual treat. I noticed the movements being intentional to the purpose of the speech, and kudos to you for doing that. And my thoughts was on vocal variety, and the pitch and the swiftness came out excellently in your speeches, and it raised the interest and demanded our presence, our attention and focus, and hear what it is, right? Because it was creating the aptness of leveraging the voice. And one thing I missed out is on the tone part of it. For example, if their ages, when you spoke about in a school being called as Pammy, you can use it Pammy, 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 right? Or kind of girlish words. And at the end, you also mentioned about because the HR policy, you stayed there, and later you also understood that you're becoming a local Paramjit. Maybe you are used to was, I became a local Paramjit, right? Those are the two things in the vocal variety. I felt like only with the tone, but the pitch and how you can, the swiftness, that was great. You put the stage on flame, Toastmaster Paramjit. Looking forward for your more speeches. Back to you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Toastmaster Soundar, for that great evaluation. I completely agree with you. He was on fire today. I was laughing out loud throughout, and your feedback, it just made it clear that yes, everyone, I could see the audience, all of them laughing, enjoying his speech, and great speech it was, and great suggestions also. And I don't have anything to add on. Yes, one thing on which he can work was those expressions or those a dramatization based on the change ups and downs on the speech, like you mentioned. So that would have enhanced his speech a little more. So that's all from my side, but a great evaluation for a great speech. Thank you. So now we have our third speaker, Mrinal Kanti Ghosh, and his evaluator, Toastmaster Amit Dudani, who's an insurance professional for over 15 years. But he left his job to set up his own company, and he continues to be an entrepreneur on his entrepreneurial journey. His interests include sports, animal welfare, and traveling, but his recent love is Toastmasters and public speaking. So let us invite Toastmaster Amit Dudani to evaluate Toastmaster Mrinal Kanti Ghosh.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. Mrinal, I understood from your speech that you believe in the concept of human connections. But what I also learned is that you believe in the quote, well begun is half done. What a great start to your speech when you said, how does one impress his or her boyfriend or girlfriend? And your boss. That's where you got me. You got me interested. And boss is definitely important, be it at office or at home. So a wonderful start, a hook that you created at the beginning of your speech. And you continued to ensure that you kept the audience engaged. Firstly, I noticed that you acknowledged the messages that were being sent in the chat. And that is a fantastic way of engaging and communicating with your audience. Secondly, you asked rhetorical questions. You asked things like, tell me friends. You didn't wait for the answer and you continued with your speech. So that was another excellent way to engage the audience. Third is the use of humor. That, in my view, apart from suspense, is one of the best ways to engage the audience. And the humor that you sprinkled throughout the speech, especially when you looked around and you said, now I'm going to tell you about how I impressed my girlfriend and hopefully my wife is not around. So that made me laugh. Third thing that you did very good was the energy and the smile that you had. Now, when you smile and you speak with energy, audience, at least I love to listen to you. And that was another way to engage audience that you used very effectively. So these are some of the good things that you did. What are the things that you could have done differently, Mrinal? First, I would say is that you could have dug a little deeper. You spoke about various points. You spoke about things like how human connections help with team bonding, with leadership impact, with employee retention, etc. Could you have dug a little deeper in one of these examples and convinced us that, yes, see in this instance, how human connection helped with the leadership impact, for example? Had you sold me one of these examples or your claims, I would have bought all your other claims. So I would suggest that you dig a little deeper into what messages that you're trying to give. Second, I felt the transitions. So your speech, you were talking about various advantages, but I felt the connect between these various points was missing. What you could have done perhaps is you could have said, I'll tell you 5 benefits or 4 benefits of how human connections can help in the corporate world. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. So you could have brought in some bit of coherence into the message that you're trying to give. And at the end, you could have brought things like, when you said active listening is one of the ways to build connection, human connection. So, or listening from the heart. So these are the things you could have brought at the end. So transitions and structure could have been slightly different. Finally, the story never came, Mrinal. You said, I'll tell you a story about my organization where we employed 10,000 people. And believe me, I got a tub of popcorn to munch on it and listen to your story, but that story never came. So I would have loved to listen to that story of yours, which could have perhaps added a lot more credibility to the speech. But overall, very well done, fantastic. I think you aced both the objectives of yours. All the best for your next speech. Back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Amit, for that great evaluation, great feedback. And something which I would like to add here was about his presence, the camera setup. I felt the setting up of camera was not so proper because I could see that you were trying to move your hands and make some gestures, but it was not coming across. It was not clear. And when you were trying to move backwards, the voice was not proper at some points. So maybe the placement of your camera, if we could have seen at least your till your waist, I think the body gestures would have been better and clearly visible. So that was one thing which I would like to add here with the evaluation, the suggestions given by our evaluator. Otherwise, your speech had a wonderful beginning, and I loved because it was an informative speech too, inspiring and informative because it inspired to make human connections, but you also shared some data, some facts and figures with all of us, which was interesting to know. So thank you so much. So now let's move on to our next speaker and the evaluator. Our next speaker was speaker number 4, Toastmaster Dinesh Sharma. And to evaluate him today, we have a great visionary leader, a past district director of District 82. Distinguished Toastmaster Noorul Munawwara. Over to you.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Yes, first of all, I must congratulate Toastmaster Dinesh Sharma for his excellent speech. The Toastmaster Dinesh, I really like the way that you started. Even a person who did not know anything about PR, you started with comparing the Starbucks coffee and the coffee selling in other small shops. So you compared the price so that but the people can easily understand what you are trying to speak. So again, all the slides were well prepared and very simple. So the next you said the purpose of branding. How clearly you indicated the points. These are very small, very simple way that you have explained. Anyone can understand. After all, the BMG is in your heart. So you can talk for hours and hours, and you can prepare enough of presentations, and you can give enough content, but still you had the talent of putting everything in a small format and very simple way. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Dinesh. And I also like the way that how you told about the 5W strategy: who, what, where, when, and why. And finally, you brought the current slide that the event will take place in another 1 or 2 days, and you brought why you devised this PR slide, and for how to attract people, how you have talked about, you are talking about the previous participant, feedback of participants, how the keynote speakers make an impact on the newcomers to the Canada and everything. But what I thought, all these are very informative, and everything what you told was exactly correct for a PR initiative. What I suggest is, what I thought to give us a little bit of suggestion is, you know the subject very well, and you had a very well prepared slide. Why not you try a little bit of technical advance in making your presentation? All of us watch Bram, how he make the presentation, and you always watch even the other participants, how they use the presentation. So why not you try a new technology to improvise your presentation? The second thing what I wanted to tell is, I didn't see your any sort of, because although it is the subject is within you, still you could have used your gestures and vocal variety to suit or to promote. You could have been a little bit more dynamic in making your presentation. And finally, what you could have done was that you could have just put a slide how the PR worked in the progress of BMG events. Maybe you could have taken some past data. The first event, how many participants took part? Second event, how many participants took part? So you could have really got a progress and showed us, because of this PR initiative, how you have gained more people to the event. That would have been, or if you had done all these things, it would have been a wonderful presentation. But I like the presentation because it was simple and very clear, and everybody can understand very well that what you have done to promote PMG event. And I liked one sentence in one of your flyer: come and attend the PMG event in GTA. Why couldn't put that sentences in one of the slides? That could have attracted a lot in your presentation. So all in all, it was good. So as I said, make your presentation, use the technology to make your presentation more effective and more simple. Over to you, General.
Thank you, DTM Noorul, for that great evaluation. I just love the way you structured your evaluation with the very strong conclusion where you summarized everything, and you shared the recommendations you had for the speaker. And one thing which I want to add here was the 5W strategies was wonderful, but I felt that you could have connected those strategies with one of the examples. You gave your own example about the BMG. Maybe you could have connected that with one example and explained that how you worked based on these strategies, on that 5W strategies. I think that would have had a clear explanation about the whole thing. And another suggestion is about your background, because you are talking about the PR and how to create branding for your organization. I think if you could have had a better background, a virtual background, which is related to the whole concept of your PR or branding, which could have resonated with your speech, I think that would have been much better than having this. This is beautiful. This background is, of course, beautiful, but it could have connected better with the topic, with the theme, your speech today. So that's one small suggestion from my side. Wonderful work, Toastmaster Dinesh. Thank you. Now we have our fifth evaluation for the fifth speaker, Angela Brown. And to evaluate her speech, we have Nokawe, who is a distinguished unlearner, a deputy director in environmental compliance and enforcement, and a Sunday school teacher who was introduced to Toastmasters by the adversities of life. Listening skills and the hunger to learn are important for growth. That's what she believes. So let's invite Nokawe to evaluate Toastmaster Angela Brown's speech. Over to you, Toastmaster Nokawe.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator, for the opportunity to give my feedback on the evaluation of Angela Brown. Angela, thank you so much for delivering an educational speech. You have shared with us the importance and the difference between mentorship coaching and the effects of positive coaching I have enjoyed your speech. You have achieved the purpose of your project, and your speech was delivered very well, regardless of your current challenges. Your voice projection was very clear. Your level of comfortability, the use of your gestures, and your voice projection is commendable. You are relevant to the theme of the day because only a leader with a growth mindset can be able to achieve what you've achieved. What I think you may want to work on is to limit the use of your hand gestures. And looking at your speech that you had more than 3 characters, you could have explored the use of your vocal varieties, but I feel like that's what you've missed in your speech. So in the next speech, you may want to use that opportunity. And what I think you might want to challenge yourself on is that start your speech with a bang, with a way that will capture your audience. Your speech was very diverse in a way that you could have used so many things to just catch our attention. You could have used a question that would have linked to your story in a format, in an educational way very well. And you could have used a quote that could have just caught our attention. Other than that, thank you so much for delivering an empowering and educational speech. And I hope that next time you incorporate all the things that I've just shared. Well done. Thank you.
Thank you, Nokawe, for your feedback and your recommendations for the speaker. I completely agree with the points which you shared. And one small thing for you is the summary. I think you missed to give summary of your evaluation, which is a very important part of the whole evaluation, to reinstate the commendations and recommendations for the speaker. So overall, a great speech, Toastmaster Angela Brown. Thank you, everyone. And now let me request the Zoom master to launch the poll for the best efforted evaluator. So meanwhile, I think the time for all the evaluations are already shared in the chat box. Thank you so much, DTM Nina, the timer of the day, for doing the role meticulously from the beginning. From the time the meeting started, I could see that she was changing the background for the essay, for TMOD, for each and every role player who came onto the virtual stage and spoke. The timer was on. So great job. And throughout the meeting, you were just updating the time taken by all the speakers and putting it in the chat box for all of us. Thank you. Great job. And now the poll is here for all of you. I request all of you to please cast your votes to select the best effort evaluator. Thank you. So now moving on to the overall feedback of our meeting, our today's meeting. But before that, let me call our grammarian to share her report. So sorry. Distinguished Toastmaster Hannah, please give your report, grammarian report.
Certainly, Madam General Evaluator. What a wonderful work we had today. Evolution. It was used a few times, yes, by Dinesh twice, Jyothi, our TMOD, 4 times, Sandra 2 times. Congratulations. And by that, I also heard some excellent snippets of sayings, and I'd like to share them with you. Jennifer, growth mindset is freedom. Fixed mindset is limiting. or challenges are the opportunities to grow. Just we have to grab those opportunities and grow within Toastmasters and with outside of Toastmasters. Thank you. Leya, encourage all to practice forgiveness. Indeed, this is definitely missing in today's society. And Paramjit, he taught us a new word, Paramjit phobia. What a crazy word. Mrinal, connect from your heart and empathy. All beautiful snippets that I heard. Angela, I loved your title. Soar like an eagle, discovering its own wings. And Sandra said, connect authentically and engage the audience. Sadly, this is not always practiced with authenticity and honesty. Soundar, when you heard about Paramjit's speech, you put the stage on flame. Indeed, a good reflection on Paramjit's speech. And Amit, a little deeper into your messages. That is all from me, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you, DTM Hannah, for that elaborated report. Thank you. And a small suggestion, because in the beginning, we saw there was a confusion because you had a different background. So if that thing happens, we can always come with a different background, not with the wrong word of the day, because that will have create a confusion. But thanks to DTM Ram, again, he was a savior. He shared the correct slide in the chat box, and thank you for that. So now about the meeting. It was a wonderful meeting. The meeting started bang on time as usual, and our essay was with full of energy, and it was a power-packed introduction, and the beginning was superb. And of course, I have already mentioned about our Toastmaster of the Day. Great theme, well-organized meeting, perfectly planned meeting, and all those last-minute changes were taken care of perfectly behind the scenes. For our guests and members, I should tell this, that a lot of work was going on even during the meeting through the WhatsApp groups. If there is a last minute change and all those time related things, everything is happening even during the meeting. So that is how the meetings are planned. So great job. And another thing which I would like to share here was in the beginning when greeter was greeting, I saw that again we got into the flow and we were talking, and in between greeter could not welcome some of the guests who were joining. So we have to take care of this, that we need to give that stage to the greeter so that she can welcome all the guests, and especially the members who are joining, who are new to who are new members, and this is the first meeting as a member they are joining. So we need to welcome them, and of course the guests, and that time is for greeting. And even during the speeches, I saw that some of the messages were coming up in the chat box. You all can do that, but once the speech is done, I think that space we can use to chat or share our thoughts, because when the speaker is on the virtual stage, these messages, they just pop up between, and it creates a disturbance for the speaker and of course for the audience too. So these are few suggestions which I have for today's meeting. Otherwise, today's meeting was well planned, well structured, and a wonderful meeting as always. So thank you so much, and back to you, Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Jyothi.
Thank you very much. So beautifully strung together, General Evaluator. Very well curated and taken care of every little detail right there. Now, as we come to the close, what's important? The thought of the day. Stringing with a beautiful bow the theme and the entire proceedings. For that, who can do it better? None other than one-stop shop. This lady who believes in leadership development is a continuous learning process. And she knows it's a growth mindset for leaders. Till now, she had just 3 letters to a particular sentence. I cannot do it. And now she has an addition to it. I cannot do it now. The thought of the day will be presented by Lean on Me. DTM Hannah Schmitz. Over to you.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Thomas Edison quoted, "I haven't failed. I have just found 10,000 ways that haven't worked." And he is an excellent example of growth mindset leader who believed that his talents were just in the beginning, and he directed all his energies into doing better and that of shedding light into our lives by inventing the light bulb. And we should all use our setbacks to getting better rather than getting good. Let us be clear on what we want and embrace new challenges. With a fixed mindset, people tend to stop learning and believe that their skills and their talents will just keep them going. A growth mindset leader views challenges as opportunities. They accept failures as mistakes, as learning opportunities. They keep unlocking their, and of course our potential. They help their fellow members grow, encourage continuous learning. As Jyothi said, a fixed mindset person says, I cannot do this. A growth mindset can also say, I can't do this. However, they add a three-letter important word to their sentence, which says, I cannot do this now. No matter what your ability is, effort is what ignites that ability and turns it into accomplishment. A quote by Carol Dweck. That is evolution. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you very much. Now, there was no doubt why I called you what I did. Now, before I hand over the podium to the president, let me give the last few things, a thought from my mind on the theme. Let's start from the very beginning, a very good place to start. How did all this come about? Sandra once responded to one of my messages and she put a particular phrase, you are riding a huge wave and enjoying it too. Bling, that was the idea. Within a couple of days, I happened to talk with 3 times DTM Brahmamon, and I just said, I want to talk about being proactive, growth mindset. You pick up from one, you run to another person, just say, I want to do it. The mentorship group, that propelled it. I took it from one place, I ran to another. I was not asked to stop, don't go further. This is what I wanted. Ask and you will receive. That was the mode. Growth mindset. It's like receiving gold coins. Let us remember to inspire each other. Be fearless in approaching any challenge. No perfection. Yes, this too shall pass. Keep going forward. Let us cultivate a culture of continuous development. It is hard, but it's not impossible. Growth mindset. Over to our distinguished President, Mohammad Asif Saeed. Thank you. The podium is yours.
Thank you very much, Our Toastmaster of the day, Jyothi Thomas. Toastmaster Jyothi, you not only enlightened us about growth mindset, but you also led this meeting with dexterity and proficiency. And you are one of the best examples of growth mindset. The way you have embraced technology and the way you have grown in this club, that says as to how this club, that's Leadership Speak, can be a platform for Toastmasters to embrace new challenges, because leadership is not all about navigating the smooth seas. It's all about managing and growing, facing the storm, and expanding your growth potential. Dear fellow leaders, today the theme of growth mindset for leaders was well expounded by our educational speaker, Toastmaster Jennifer Ghosh. And not only that, our general evaluator also shared her views on growth mindset while delivering and steering the evaluation session. That's what Leadership Speak stands for. It's the club for those people, experienced Toastmasters, who wants to embrace challenge and grow through this process. Because when you ask this question, how can I change the tone? How can I? The first one was, I can't. The next tone was, there is a possibility. I'm looking for the opportunity. I'm looking forward to learn, experiment. And that's where Toastmasters come in hand. Because Toastmasters is that platform where you can come and experiment in a cohesive environment. And that's what Leadership Speaks provides you with this platform, where we are building a camaraderie. And not only that, but we share our knowledge and experiences, and together we grow. So with a growth mindset, I truly believe that we all leaders in a fast-moving, changing environment where things are not known, we want to embrace challenges with a lot of courage, take the risk, and navigate the challenges with power and strength. With this, my dear fellow Toastmasters, we are going to meet again next week. But before that, let us announce our best evaluators and the best speakers.
Mr. President, there was one name missing from the best effort evaluator. So I have added, and we would like to relaunch the poll. So please, everyone, please again poll for the best effort evaluator. Apologies from my side.
Well, we are all using growth mindset. Let's grow. Errors can happen. So let's relaunch the poll. So while the poll is going on, and on the simultaneously the contest was also going on, let's think about where does growth mindset fit in. You see, when we think about growth mindset, my experience has been this way. It's the courage you have to experiment, the courage you have that you can fail. But in this process, this is where the risk mindset comes in, and the growth mindset, that there is going to be a risk, there could be a failure, but what if you succeed? Then definitely there is more value, money, growth, career growth, whatever kind of a success you are dreaming about. More important is also to learn from other people's success. And that's where the emotions comes. Because the fixed mindset people, they are afraid of the success of other people. Whereas the growth mindset people, they enjoy, they relish, and they are so much happy about the success of other people, because from there they also further learn and imbibe what all next or best ways you can do a particular task and succeed in life. Well, we learned right now, we accepted our mistake, error could happen, definitely, and that's what another example of growth mindset. So if the results are available, let's share the results. Yes. 1 second, I'm sharing. Looks like we have 3 winners. Yeah. Great, great. So I hope you can see it on my The screen. best effort speaker is Toastmaster Paramjit. Hooray, great. And we have 3 winners for evaluation, 3 best Wow. evaluators. That's amazing. So Toastmaster Noorul, Toastmaster Amit, and Toastmaster Soundar. Many congratulations to you. That's really great. Okay. So dear fellow Toastmasters, once again, today we discussed an important theme in leadership, that's the growth mindset. And as every week we are going to, think about and talk about a new challenge in leaderships. So until then, we meet next week. I'm going to join this meeting. Thank you very much for all your positive participation in this meeting and making this a great club. Dear Zoom Master, you can stop recording.